The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all. All right, Saturday night is all right for fights, if you ask me. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And tonight we are providing alternative commentary for Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez versus Joe Smith Jr. live on DAZN, which rhymes with calzone, as we all know. All right, so they are in the ring, and I was led to believe that the ring walks were going to be around 11 tonight, but I'll tell you, if you've been watching this fight, if you've been watching DAZN starting at 8 o'clock tonight, they whipped through the first 3 fights on the 4-fight card. So here we are. It's the main event. Zurdo versus Joe Smith Jr. And if you're wondering, where is Robert Winfree? Where is Pat Mullen? Damn it, where's Dan Lasby? Well, Dan Lasby doesn't have DAZN. But Robert Winfree is currently doing UFC coverage tonight, and I told him this would be done. This would start at 11. So he's like, "Oh, I should be there in time," and he's still working. UFC still going on. So solo. Here I am doing a solo cast on Saturday night for you because the show must go on. All right. So what are we talking about here as we do introductions? Former world champion Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, 44-1, 30 KOs, is set to make his cruiserweight debut in an electrifying clash against former light heavyweight world champion Joe Common Man Smith Jr. 28-4, 22 KOs. This 12-round showdown will unfold, or is unfolding currently, at the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas on DAZN. Ramirez, a former WBO super middleweight world champion, aims to assert himself in this cruiserweight division and secure a 2-division title holder status. Meanwhile, Iron-Willed Smith Jr., known for defying expectations, steps up to cruiserweight for the first time, driven by personal motivation to triumph in memory of his late brother. This champion versus champion battle promises to be an unforgettable spectacle. Yes, they are vying for, this is a WBA title eliminator, the winner of this in theory, but you know, boxing will get a shot at Arsen Goulamirian. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right, probably not, knowing me. He is, as of September 1st, 2019, the super champion at cruiserweight for the World Boxing Association. Gilberto Ramirez is coming off a loss to Dimitri Bivol November 5th of 2022 for the WBA super light heavyweight title. And we are ready to rock, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Zach. I don't know how helpful you would have been in, I don't know how helpful you would have been in boxing commentary, but I certainly appreciate the support, my friend. All right. We are set to go underway here. Round 1. Here we go. All right. Smith come out. He's rocking the jab. Zurdo returns. Now, Smith is all over Zurdo. He's pushing the pace so far. Big right hook from Smith Jr. Back Zurdo against the ropes. Zurdo's covering up. He's trying to work inside, trying to work in the clinch. Smith pushes him. Ref breaks him up. Again, Smith very much steadily working that jab, which is what he should be doing. Zurdo hanging back a little bit. Maybe he wasn't quite prepared for Smith's aggressiveness. Good combination there from Zurdo landed. All right, now he's starting to rock the right hand. Zurdo is. That straight right. Smith light on his feet. Oh, good right hand to the body from Joe Smith Jr. And he has Zurdo backed into the corner. Zurdo trying to fight his way out, but Smith is on him like a wetsuit, just all over him. Zurdo's trying to find distance here. He's trying to make connections, but Smith, I'll tell you what, Smith is, while remaining in his face, he's not giving Zurdo an easy target to hit. Now Zurdo's trying to back Smith into the corner. Smith having none of it. Yeah, he just sort of inches his way back out again. Zurdo did not keep the pressure on him. All right, Zurdo now starting to press forward. Smith not really giving him much. As Zurdo comes forward, Smith will start to back straight up, but then Zurdo also then backs up too. Like, he doesn't really pursue him, doesn't try to cut the ring off, doesn't try to find an angle. They just sort of keep going back and forth on the number line. All right, they square up again. We are 45 seconds left of round one of this WBA title eliminator for cruiserweight. Oh, nice combination there from Zurdo. Went downstairs and then hit him with the straight. Smith shook it off. Big right hand from Smith. Has really found a home for that big right hook. Now, Smith sort of pawing at Zurdo in the corner. Zurdo just slid out of the corner there. You tie up. Yeah, I think Zurdo's just, this was not the first round he was hoping for, and he just kind of wants to get out of there. And that is the end of round one. Easy round for Common Man. He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. Joe Smith Jr. Hey, I am rocking a solo podcast here tonight. I experimented with one of these a month or two ago for Showtime. And if you are watching, and I know some of you are because I can see the counter, go ahead, leave a comment, ask a question. You want to help out, that's fine. Anything you want to do, if you put your comments up, I will certainly read them on air. And I appreciate everyone who, there are only a zillion of these streams going on right now, I'm sure, all over YouTube. You chose mine for some odd reason, so I appreciate you very much so. All of our friends watching here on the W2M Facebook, the My History of Boxing Facebook page, my Radulich and Broadcasting Facebook, and on Twitch, believe it or not. All righty. All right, round two. Here we go. Zurdo just kind of sleepwalking out of the corner there. I don't think he liked how that first round went. I thought maybe he thought would have a slower start here with Joe Smith Jr. So Zurdo's now having to work that jab. He's not wanting to give Joe Smith Jr. the huge lead he had in the first round. All right. So Smith found some success with the big right hook, with the right hook. He found success both upstairs and downstairs, and now he's kind of telegraphing it. He's not working the jab like he was, which is disappointing. But you had a rock solid plan there, Joe Smith. Stay with it. Yeah, Zurdo's like, there's not going to be a repeat of round one, pal. Zurdo's planting his feet more. He's putting a little more emphasis on his punches, a little more zest, a little more mustard. And he's keeping Joe Smith at a distance, which is good because the last time he let him inside, Joe Smith messed him up good. Yeah, Zurdo now able to get through Smith's defenses, and he landed a couple squaw on the nose. Joe Smith tries to go for the body again. It's a glancing blow at best. Smith fights out of the corner. Yeah, Zurdo mixing up his punches, upstairs, downstairs, throwing combinations. Yeah, Smith doesn't quite know what it's round 2, and you already don't know what to do with this guy. Zurdo caught him coming in. Smith. Oh, good right hand from Smith. Gets through Zurdo's defenses. Just popped him right on the button. Now Zurdo's tying up. That's right. Make him wear your weight, Zurdo. Okay. Joe Smith digging on the inside. He's going straight to the body. All right. Zurdo, a little pensive to engage right now. I think he's trying to see what Smith's going to throw so that he can respond, which I don't know if that's a great idea at this point. I think he was doing a much better job when he was putting the pressure on Smith, but also Zurdo looks like he's struggling with the cardio here. Overhand right from Smith Jr. Yeah, see, what I like about what Smith's doing is he'll overextend a little bit, but he'll throw it out there. He'll catch up real fast, and then 2-3 more punches at a clip each and every single time. So Zurdo thinks he's gotten out of harm's way, but Smith's like, nope, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And so either Zurdo has to quick circle away, or he has to tie up, or he has to hope the ref gets involved, or the round is over, which it is. Round 2, tough one to call. I think for the most part, Zurdo had that one, though there's an argument for Joe Smith Jr. as well. I'm going to go 1-1. First round for Joe Smith Jr., second round for Zurdo. And we will see what the experts say momentarily when they show their cards. Thank you again for hanging out with me tonight. Appreciate all of you. I always have fun doing these boxing podcasts. It's fun when I have a friend to talk to, but, you know, I can do this myself. All right, round 3. Here we go. All right, Joe Smith Jr. picking up that jab again. There you go, buddy. This corner's thinking like I am. Don't drop your jab. Don't get cocky. Digging punches again from Joe Smith. A lot of pawing from Joe Smith in this round, which I don't love. Zurdo kind of bouncing on his feet. Smith kind of tossed him into the ropes. Yep. So Zurdo is connecting, but there's not a lot of mustard behind those punches. He's racking up some points right now. Up. They tie. Yeah, Joe Smith working on the inside. Oh, a little bit of a late shot there, Zurdo. What happened, bud? Yeah, Zurdo's just trying to get the hell away from Joe Smith at this point. He's not entirely sure what to do. Big right hand again from Joe Smith. Zurdo tries to attack the body. Joe Smith says, no, sir. Yeah, Joe Smith is on the attack. He is stalking Zurdo, punches him into the ropes. Zurdo's trying to circle away, and Joe Smith is having none of it. Backs him into the corner again. Zurdo tying up, trying to save himself. And Joe Smith, like, you want to fight in the phone booth? You want to tie up? I'll punch you right in the head and right in the side. It's all right. Yeah, Joe Smith does not sweat Zurdo at all. He is right there in the pocket. He is saying, you have no power, pal. Interesting. Yeah, Zurdo stalking Joe Smith. Bit of a combination there. Joe Smith just hanging on the ropes, absorbing it, doing a little bit of rope-a-dope. Comes out with a right hook. Up. Off balance. Not a knockdown. Joe Smith kind of threw a hook, and I just kind of stepped weird. Went down on one knee. Not a knockdown. Joe Smith, not afraid to take a shot to the head. I mean, big swing, gets a counter, comes back with an even bigger swing. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Joe Smith Jr. And I can tell you that Zurdo does not. Though I will give Zurdo credit where credit's due. He's doing a great job of circling the hell away from Joe Smith, but Joe Smith is freaking relentless. Yeah, So Zurdo thinking, okay, I can't go punch for punch with this guy. He's going to knock me upside my head. So he's doing a lot of dancing. He's doing using a lot of footwork, trying to stay away from Joe Smith. Maybe he'll punch himself out. Not a bad plan for Zurdo. This is one of those, and I talk about this with Robert all the time. Maybe you want to, kind of do a Canelo, not have your scorecards mailed in ahead of time, but rather kind of take a few rounds, take some punishment from the guy, because later on you're going to have his number and you're going to end up overwhelming him and winning a decision, earned or otherwise. I didn't see the last Canelo fight, unfortunately, but I heard he had a fairly substantial, overwhelming victory against Charlo. So, and now he's like, what's the other thing I saw recently? Like, I don't care. I don't care who I fight next. I'm fighting in May on Cinco de Mayo. Canelo, everybody. Fantastic. All right, here we go. We are in round 4, I believe. Yes, sir. Round 4. Joe Smith Jr., part of the reason why he's got some mustard on his punches is not doing a whole hell of a lot as far as staying loose and bouncy, really kind of planting his feet. He wants to wear Zurdo down with a high volume of hard punches, which is not a bad idea. Which is why Zurdo now needs to stay light on his feet, keep circling, put some distance between him. Let's drag Joe Smith Jr. into the later rounds here. Again, glancing blows from Zurdo at best. Zurdo punching right into Joe Smith's guard, which is an important element of all of this. Is that Zurdo might be throwing a lot of punches, but not a lot of them are landing cleanly. Joe Smith Jr. landing more clean punches, and harder punches for that matter, power punches. I like what Zurdo's doing right now. A lot of side to side, a lot of trying to get away from Joe Smith. Joe Smith might have a cut around his eye. Oh, big left there in the phone booth with Joe Smith. Right hook, just pushing Zurdo right into the ropes. Yeah, Joe Smith is hammering on his head now. Zurdo, credit where credit's due. He's trying to strike back with some combinations, trying to find a way inside, maybe catch Joe slipping. Yeah, sticking the jab in his face. Get off me. Go away. So Joe Smith slid in, threw a punch, didn't pull the punch back, and kind of just good boy. He didn't really mean to, but it looked funny. Right hook again from Joe Smith. Take a drink every time I say that tonight. Combination from Zurdo, but Smith's just blocking. Not a lot's getting through. Zurdo can tend to just kind of continuing to throw some lazy jabs. Not great. Oh, that one he snuck in. That what was I think a left or a right hook there from Zurdo. It pissed off Tim Smith, I'll tell you that much. All right, we have a friend here on one of our Facebook pages. It says, watching from the Philippines, hoping Joe Smith can pull this win. Darn close, pal. Darn close. Thank you for writing in. Appreciate you. All right. Well, there's a fight I will not be covering. KSI versus Tommy Fury and Logan Paul versus Dylan Dennis. However, if you're enjoying my special brand of live boxing coverage, and you're like, well, when are you going to do this again? You're pretty cool. I like you. We will be back on October 28th. We'll be covering the circus that is Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if I may, just for one moment, editorialize on this. Like, I like a good circus heavyweight fight as much as the next guy, but the fact that they've already now signed Fury versus Usyk, which this cracked me up. It's either December 23rd or January. December 23rd or January, as if January by itself is one date. Anywho, they'll pick something. I hope it's December 23rd. That'd be fun, right before Christmas. Be my own little Christmas present. Because I have been dying to see Fury versus Usyk for the longest time, as well as many boxing fan. In any case, what if Fury loses to Ngannou and then has to go into that fight with that loss? I mean, it doesn't really fucking change anything as far as the title goes, but because it's for like some fake belt they're inventing for Riyadh. But doesn't matter. All right, we are in round 5, and we are also joined by the King of Swing, Mr. Robert Winfree. How do you do, sir?
Swing.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry I'm late, everybody. I was told the estimated ring walk time would be, closer to 30 minutes from now. And I got back to a message from Mark like, hey,
yeah,
20 minutes ago they blazed through the undercard. So
yep. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late here.
Timing's a little off. So, hey, our friend here from Facebook asking if Smith has won yet. Well, he's winning, but he has not won yet. We are only in round 5 of this WBA Eliminator. All right, Robert. For the most part, I've been calling almost nearly every round, with maybe except the second one for Smith Jr. He's really been working some more power punches. He's landing more of the heavier punches. Zurdo, footwork is good, able to keep away good, but he's not landing as much. And he's having a real difficult time with the aggression from Smith Jr. And that's what you've missed so far.
You seem to be calling that a little bit differently than the commentary team.
Yes, because I don't work for DAZN.
I'm just saying they seem to be favoring Zurdo just a bit.
Mm-hmm. Like, here's my thing, and we went into this with the Navarrete fight where, it was like Navarrete was throwing the higher volume of punches, but they weren't getting through nearly as much. And that's what I see from Zurdo.
Yeah, well, who won that fight?
I understand what you're saying.
So look,
I'm trying to learn.
I'm just saying.
Ooh, good right hand there from Zurdo.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of joining this where we are, and commentary indicated that Smith's best round was probably round 4, but the first 3 were a little bit more touch and go. Might have favored Zurdo. I struggle to care about this fight in particular. Mostly because I watched Joe Smith Jr. get run over, ground into the dust, and then pissed on by Artur Beterbiev.
I feel like Pat and I called that one. Oh, good left there, nice right on the button from Zurdo.
Yeah, the southpaw stuff was starting to work. Smith not being as mindful of his foot position.
Yeah, you missed it before, but a round or 2 ago, he threw a big right and then kind of lost his footing and fell over.
Yeah. And he's missing in the pocket, and Zurdo's starting to swarm a little bit. Smith might be fading.
So one of the things I was saying before you came on was after the first round, which clearly went to Smith, I don't care what the commentators say, Zurdo was like, oh, okay, I can't get in the phone booth with you. I can't go toe-to-toe with you. And what I was suggesting was like, you know what? How about you move around, be a little bit more evasive, maybe give up a few rounds, but let's get this guy punching so that in deep water later on, second half of the fight, he's tired and you can take advantage of his lethargy. And I think that's what's happening here because we're starting to see the tables turn in favor of Zurdo.
Yeah, Smith's his footwork's never been great, and that's starting to bite him a little bit here. We can see Zurdo again starting to find the left hand, which is helping. And Smith's not much of a volume guy, so he also struggles a bit with. And Zurdo might struggle more, so that might be why he's fighting the way he is. But one of the ways Beterbiev kind of ran over Smith was just being physical in his face, making him fight.
Smith is slowed down considerably in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
He was kind of a house of fire to start with.
he might have known that, if I don't do this early, I'm not going to do it at all. So
It's fair.
but,
Because I'll tell
we've
you this:
all
the other thing
we've all
about
been there at
Zerdo
times.
now, his in ring composure is back. He seems more in control of things. So I'll tell you, he came out of that first round looking like Christ. Where'd they get this guy from? I'm supposed to win this. My name's first. And then, he slowed down. He kept his composure. But see, now he's looking a little more confident in there against Joe Smith. Before he wasn't.
Yeah, it helps when you also get through what you can tell is the worst of what the other guy has to offer.
And that's what I think happened here. I think Smith might have blown his wad in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look, this is kind of a weak division to begin with. You got 2 guys who are any good, and they won't fight each other.
I mentioned before that this was a WBA eliminator, and I had to look up who the WBA cruiserweight champ is, and I went, "Who?" I didn't say that out loud at the time, but I was like, I said it with confidence, and then in my back of my mind, I'm like, "Who the hell is this?" So
well, look, cruiserweight fell apart after Usyk moved up to heavyweight. I appreciate Smith moving up after, again, the failed campaign at light heavyweight, where Beterbiev just kind of steamrolled him, and it was, for those of us who appreciate Beterbiev's work, it was great.
So Zerda fighting that off the back foot, he's punching into the guard, which doesn't really help. But as you said before, I'm wondering how much of that the judges are just going to ignore and say, in the glove, in the face, what difference does it make?
It's more that he's using it for range finding and to give an obstacle for Smith when Smith's trying to close.
Right.
And Smith.
Well, before Smith was just walking through his punches straight, like he was walking straight through.
And now he's not.
Yeah, no, now he's not.
And Zerdo doing a little bit better angling off the ropes. He's turning Smith with a degree of regularity, and then getting to counter him like there. Nice, again, nice little turn from Zerdo. And Smith is he's almost in I'm here for a paycheck mode now.
Yeah. We're take him to round 5. I've done my job. All right, Zerdo, it's your turn now.
And when they get all the way into the pocket, there's some signs of life from Smith in there, but anything at range is just not going his way. And these uppercuts are starting to get further and further from the target.
Yeah. And
I want them to get closer.
And I like how Zerdo
there we go.
Zerdo is doing some work in there.
Smith's ready to go. It's not going to happen right now. We're nearly at the end of the round, but be surprised if he lasts 2 more.
So that last 30 seconds there, for the audience that may not have caught it because we didn't do a great job of saying it, he was throwing kind of one punch at a time, not necessarily in fast combinations, but they were digging hard power punches, and they were very meticulous. They were very much like plant my feet, aim, fire, and you would see Smith kind of, he would absorb it, and then again rinse, repeat. So it wasn't like a boom, boom, boom. It was kind of 1, admire my work, 2, admire my work, and Smith's not giving anything back.
Yeah, and once he got him on the ropes there, had a nice little 4-punch combination to end things.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting largely what was expected here, and that Zerdo's starting to kind of look like a more legitimate contender, and Smith doing the thing that all veterans do: get your name value cashed in on violently.
Round 7.
I'm cynical about fight sports for the obvious reasons.
Did the UFC wrap up?
Yeah. They started at 2 my time. Next week will as well. They're starting a little bit earlier for some of these cards, so they're ending a little bit earlier as a consequence.
A reasonable hour. All right, here we are.
Well, in round the UFC event also had a fight fall out, so they ended earlier.
Gotcha.
It happens.
Right. So Smith trying to show some signs of life here, trying to work the jab.
It's not going to help. He's going to get him countered. He's too regular with it, and he's not moving his head. If Zerdo's any good, you let him throw 2 or 3 of those, and then you swing the right hand over the top of one of them. But
yeah, we're really late in the fight, and Zerdo still kind of measures hand speed.
He should be at the point where he's got all the reads he's going to need and can build on his offense now. And
yeah, see now Zerdo's starting to come alive.
We're seeing bits and pieces of that, but ideally, again, you're at a much more comfortable spot with your opponent at this point, especially when they haven't switched anything up. Smith's been doing the same thing for the last 3 rounds, and If somebody's that regular with you, you should be able to pick up on timing,
So
rhythm,
again,
openings.
So Zurdo not throwing a tremendous amount of power punches throughout the length and duration of this fight. However, he is throwing here and there, and certainly more
Pretty good
now in
right
these
to the
later
body
rounds,
there from Smith.
a higher volume of punches. And again, like I was talking about with the end of that last round, he is picking his spots. So it's not a tremendous amount of follow-up, but he's able to kind of see a target, hit a target, move on to the next target.
Smith having a bit of success in there now.
Yeah, Joe Smith doing what he was doing at the early part of this fight. We're sort of bullying Zurdo. Yeah, won't let him off the rope. So Zurdo not really trying.
Those are incredibly. Those are just pathetic punches from Smith, though.
Yeah. Here we go.
Left from Zurdo.
Okay, so Zurdo landed one in the breadbasket. Smith started to
throw a
turn away
bunch
from him and nearly got hit in the back of the head.
You throw a bunch of crappy arm punches at someone who knows what they're doing, even if they're not a world beater, they'll make you pay for that eventually.
And that he did.
There's a couple of lefts from Zurdo.
Had Zurdo maybe taken a
It's
step,
starting to punch a little low.
he'd have found a better angle.
That was he's just throwing at the groin level at this point. Is Smith.
2023, another year of the dick punch.
And nice movement from Zurdo there. Corners Smith. Not smart enough to avoid the clinch, though. Unfortunate.
No.
You got to frame out of that, man. You frame, you push him off, then you go back to work, and you don't lose position.
Okay. Zurdo no longer sweating Joe Smith. The tide has turned. He is now stalking and punching. He feels like he's
power hands.
Yeah, but look at that though. Like the
Smith walks into a left hook.
Smith does not want to get knocked out, is what's happening.
No, he does not.
And I'll tell you what, he is doing what we say to do. It's like, hey, you've given away a couple of rounds, you've lost a few rounds, things are starting to go against you.
And just go for broke. Look, he can't win fairly, so he punched at the groin, and then at the end was just holding and hitting. Okay, he's gonna throw a headbutt in the next 2 rounds at this rate.
It is not the fighter's job to referee this fight, sir.
It is the fighter's job to fight within the rules.
I mean, the rules are subject to interpretation. Anyway, so I was saying, yes,
okay, and this is why Mark will never run for office, but should.
Exactly.
The rules do not apply to the A side, sir, and Smith hasn't realized that yet.
So yes, we will be back on October 28th for Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Tyson
Fury getting $20 million paycheck for a sparring match to warm up for Usyk. It's a great thing.
I might be doing the Ramirez Espinoza fight on ESPN Plus on November 4th. We'll see if I have a date that night or not. I might have a date with Robert Winfree, the best kind of date. All right.
Is it?
Considering how my day has been, yes.
All right. There's a good left to the body from Zurdo. Now, our unofficial scorecard here has given Zurdo
65. Yep.
Yeah, has given Smith rounds 4 and 7. And I can agree with Smith getting the last round.
That first round was clearly Smith, but they might argue with the monkeys fucking a football that are the DAZN commentary team.
That is an insult to primates who are differently attracted, sir.
And footballs. All right. Round 8.
There's nothing you can say that'll insult footballs.
All right. So Smith trying to
move
find
a little bit
in here.
There's a left to the body.
I would imagine his corner has also told him, look, you're the B side. You're not going to win this. So
you have to take this if you're going to win it.
Right. So like risk the knockout, stick your chin out there, but you've got to throw some power punches and try to knock him through the ropes.
Yeah, the lack of volume from Zurdo is starting to be a problem. He's got decent power, but you'd like to see some more out of him, especially when he gets Smith backed up. He's almost got him in the corner again. And there's a good left to the body again. You'd like to see just, follow that up with a right hook, sir. You've got a pretty good angle for it when you step off to the side there, and Smith's not
Here's what I'll tell you.
Dealing with your angle like that.
But if we're sitting here going, hey, Smith, go for broke, throw power punches, try to steal a knockout, somebody in Zurdo's corner said, don't overplay your hand. Fight defensively.
Don't be stupid.
Right. So you have one guy just throwing caution to the wind, and the other guy going the other guy being overly cautious.
Well,
Because
he's
at
not
this
being
point,
overly. I wouldn't say he's being overly cautious, but don't give the other guy a shot. What you're doing is working, so why play into what he
when
wants
I
to
say
do?
overly cautious, he's perfectly willing to let this
Oof.
go to the scorecards. He knows he's got it on the cards.
He feels okay about it. Whether he should or not remains to be seen. They trade body shots in close. And again, Smith, he's keeping him up now, but he's flirting with that belt line a little bit. And the referee, just meandering around. This referee. Oh, there's a left from Zurdo. That's pretty good.
Yep, but Smith comes fighting out of the corner. See,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
not. And again, holding and hitting from Smith.
I think Zurdo should have held him in that corner. I think he let him out a little too easily, and that is the end of round 8.
I would like to see Zurdo, assert himself a little bit more when they get into the pocket like that. When you've got your opponent in a bad ring position, yeah, you've got better footwork and you're moving around better, but stand in there, plant yourself, get something of meaning, get some meaningful offense going before you make him, get out of there the hard way instead of just letting him out.
Ryan Garcia will be fighting on December 2nd against Oscar Duarte. I might cancel what I'm doing that night and actually cover that fight. Devin Haney is fighting Regis Prograis. I don't know if I'm going to cover that one or not.
I wouldn't.
But then,
I wouldn't cover Garcia either.
You don't think so? Garcia is money. That's what they tell me anyway.
Yeah, he was until he quit against Tank.
We have another friend here on Facebook. All of our friends from Facebook, we totally appreciate you. This Joe Smith Jr. for the win. I mean, he's trying, bud. He's trying, but
I get the feel it's Facebook. There's a decent chance someone's rooting for him based on ethnicity.
Jesus Christ, dude.
What? If I can't say it on here,
please contact him on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. All right.
And Smith. Okay, Smith. Yeah, he's coming forward now.
Yeah, round 9.
He knows he can't win this on the card, so he's trying to brawl it out and bless him.
Yeah, but I love this about Joe Smith. So he's leaning on Zurdo on the ropes and just wailing on him. Look, Joe Smith has sort of abandoned the tenets of boxing and has decided, and I kind of love this about him. Stop. And
this is why you like him.
And I love the fact that he's just like, I'm just gonna stand in front of you and just wing punches, because what else am I supposed to do? Maybe you got a weak chin. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe you got a weak chin and maybe my punches are soft, but I can't do anything else. So this is what we're gonna do.
I like it.
If Joe Smith were an inch taller and had more, he would be a perfectly serviceable mid-tier heavyweight. As it stands, he's a.
Well, explain why I love him so.
Yes, because of your bizarre affection for.
Who invited you to this? Shut up.
You did. Your bizarre affection for quasi freak show fights that is boxing.
Hey, even I said this to my fans, my wonderful friends here earlier. Even I'm not going to cover that KSI pay-per-view. Oy.
Yes, dude, you would if you realized how much traffic it would generate.
Anyway,
look, you watch that fight to watch somebody beat the crap out of Dylan Dennis. That's why, in theory, that's why you watch that fight. Zurdo's starting to come forward again. Still probing with the left. But there's a lack of
good left hook there from Zurdo.
There's just a lack of pop on his punches. Like, he gets into this position and he's just not willing to throw in volume. You keyed into it earlier. It's like the power. He's like boxing to the rhythm of reffing, which is a little bit of an inside baseball reference for those who listen to our shows. But
yeah, I was gonna say the power on Zurdo's punches are about that of someone doing like cardio kick at a gym.
Neither of these guys have a lot of oomph on what they're throwing. It's kind of sad.
Oh, Smith started off that way.
And there we go. Up to the body, left to the head.
Yeah, that one bent his neck back.
Snap the old head back. Well, this is why you follow up the left to the body with something else, because it opens up options. But Zurdo only now at the end of the 9th round realizing this.
All right, folks, we are in our final round here. in this WBA eliminator between Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez versus Joe Smith Jr. And I'll tell you, we've had a lot of fun.
The absolute state of the cruiserweight division, man.
As me and Grumpy bring you all the best commentary that you can find for free.
Dude, tell me I'm wrong. That's all I ask.
I will when you are. You know that.
And I love you for the fact that you will.
All right, here we go. Last round here. So Joe Smith Jr. really does, for all of our fans, for all of our friends, for all of the people commenting, like, please, Joe Smith, win this. He needs to kind of spear Zurdo like Goldberg. Just run across the ring and kind of Roy Nelson it. Just go on the attack.
Wow. I love that both of your references are from disparate events that are loosely related to boxing.
That's what I'm here for, folks, to bring you that commentary. So interesting that Joe Smith won round 7 and 8, but yeah, he gave up the ghost in 9.
Yeah, he faded bad in 9. Like the first minute or so of the 9th round, he did okay, but he kind of gave up after that.
Yeah. So Joe Smith
really what we're having here, guys, get ready for the split draw.
The Zurdo Smith Jr. trilogy we all wanted.
There is one judge who erroneously listed the fight for Canelo, and we have a no contest.
I happened to mention that was an ongoing thing with us earlier.
And Zurdo, again, moving around fairly well. He's got decent trunk movement, the Zurdo. His actual boxing mechanics are pretty solid. There's just some tactical decision making that he's just, again, like right now, when you get that angle on a guy, don't let him settle and look at it and rethink. You got to start attacking a bit quicker.
We are at 1:45 here, and Joe Smith Jr. started off okay and didn't even make the entire round and starts keeping up the volume of punches.
He didn't make the first minute.
Yeah.
Zurdo has flipping, digging to the body.
Yeah, so Zurdo
the body works late. Ooh, he's not happy about those body shots. They're finally starting to add up.
Zurdo has his well in hand. And at this point,
if he's smart enough to go back to it.
At this point, we're still fighting at like, hey, I've got this in the star cards. Don't do anything stupid.
Don't back up. This guy's ready to go, man. You gotta. There you go. Yeah. Lefts. Stay in there. Hit the body again. Don't give him the angle. And just punch in the dick all day long. Trying to get out of here.
Zurdo can win this by just keeping his technique, by staying calm, staying composed. He doesn't need to knock this guy out. That's what I would.
Yeah, but you should.
No, I hear what you're saying.
It's one thing to recognize.
Jesus Christ, that one even I saw. Yes. Him right in the boner.
Look, it's one thing to be in a position where you can maybe get somebody out of there, but you don't want to give them the opportunity to screw up your night. That's not what we're dealing with here. What we're dealing with here is, again, Joe Smith, who's like, hey, I'm here. You can probably knock me over and I won't be able to get up. And Zurdo's still going, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
And that speaks to something different than good decision-making in the face of a dangerous opponent versus risk-averse decision-making in the face of a guy who's just kind of winging punches.
That one shook. That one from
that got his attention.
Yeah.
But look, this is what happened. Look, this is what happens when you let them back in the fight. If he'd kept pressure, he might not have ever been in that position to begin with. So there's some decision-making issues that Zurdo needs to address, and some fight IQ tactical stuff.
So here's the thing. Like, again, this is supposed to be an eliminator for the current WBA cruiserweight champion.
Who is?
And the way
who is?
Bully. Arsen.
Look it up again.
Arsen Kulamirian.
Okay.
I got that one. All right.
You sort of pronounced it.
Good enough for our audience. Who I'm very grateful for that came out and hung out with us tonight.
All right, we are
here. Really appreciate you all, and we hope you'll be back for
any number of fights we're covering. If I inadvertently accused you of racism, just understand it's all in good fun.
You should see him on Damn You Hollywood. All right, which you can listen to every Monday right here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network and W2M.
Usually Monday. We still have a couple of Tuesday shows lined up, but
Typically, it's
Yeah.
Monday. This Monday,
Yeah.
this Monday for sure.
This Monday, we're talking about the creator, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I'll be seeing it tomorrow night after work. All right, we're still showing replays of the fight here. I'll tell you what, though, I had the most fun watching Joe Smith Jr. land those hooks, those big meaty hooks.
You do like them big and meaty.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
You
Wearing my toxic masculinity shirt tonight.
You would have been in the crowd chanting meat at everything that was done between Miro and Hobbs.
All right.
99-91 on all three scorecards.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He did not lose only one round. Oh, my God. All right. I'm not going to go on a Pat Mullen-esque rant about the scorecards here, but holy moly.
I'm perfectly willing to say, look, again, I didn't get to see the whole thing. Dude, even the pro Zurdo commentary team's like, I don't get those scorecards, man.
Those were given to them by the DAZN production team.
Yeah, those were mailed in advance. Like, look, I'm fine with him winning. I don't have
not by that large a margin though. Not by 9-1.
Yeah, that's
Look, I love boxing. Just ask anyone who reads my profile on Facebook Dating. But that's ridiculous.
And 9-1 that's a reach.
Well, folks, better late to the party than never. Robert Winfree on at Winfree MMA on X or Twitter, if you refuse to call it that. I am at Mark Radulich on Twitter and TikTok. I will cut a piece of the action out of this podcast tonight and throw it up on TikTok.
There's nothing here worth cutting out.
It's always something worth cutting. You can see my karaoke on my latest karaoke date that I was on. You can hear concert footage and clips of the podcast or silly stuff I make my kids do all over my TikTok. I don't even care about the podcast anymore. Just check out my TikTok at Mark Radulich. Leave me a comment. I will respond.
Because Mark is, slightly ADD, follows the jingling keys. TikTok is jingling right now, and that's where he's putting his focus.
Robert Winfree of the Screaming Boy podcast. You go where your audience is. And our audience is on YouTube and TikTok and nowhere else.
We
freak humanity.
No, that tracks. That tracks.
All right, folks.
It's why I look, considering how, again, a lot of YouTube, a lot of Facebook, I don't feel bad saying that some of you might be rooting for Joe Smith just because his last name is Smith and the other guy's Ramirez.
All right, but for those of you who can get out of this podcast where you get us demonetized, for those of you who watch,
please. You want to pretend that I'm the reason we're demonetized on anything.
For those of you who watched on our W2M.com Facebook page or My History of Boxing Facebook page, the Radulich and Broadcasting Facebook, YouTube, W2M Network, and Twitch, W2M Network. And while I can't see it on the counter, if you actually watch this on Twitter, we really appreciate you. Yep. We enjoy doing this. I really enjoy doing this. And it's fun when we have an audience that interacts with us. So we hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We hope you appreciated our commentary. If you didn't, drop me a line. How much you didn't, and we'll certainly take that into consideration. We are again. We got Damn You Hollywood this week. We're looking at the creator, and then on Tuesday, myself, Al Sedano, David Wright, and Jesse Starcher are looking at the second season of Good Omens on Amazon Prime.
Interesting choice to do a second season of that television show, considering the first season did the entire book.
Yeah. Last week, Robert and I.
Please tell me it shows that they had no.
Yes. Robert and I reviewed Saw X, and X going to give it to you. Myself, David Wright, and Ronnie Adams attempted to review The Legend of Vox Machina season 2.
I'm so sorry you didn't. I'm so sorry you disinvited me from that.
Yeah. So am I. And then myself and Sean Comer did a triple feature director focus on Jordan Peele. We looked at Get Out, Us, and Nope. And
man, Us completely falls apart in the third act.
We discussed it. Hey, we just got a comment up here. So real quick, for those of you who just tuned in, we're about to get out of here, but I will tell you who won. It was, in fact, Zurdo, who won 99-91 showing that once
On
again,
all three judges' scorecards. Coincidence?
boxing is fun, but also a lot of malarkey.
Coincidence? I think not.
And with that said, for Robert Winfree, good to his mother, I am Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and behave.